Coming up on Dr. Kiki Science Hour, we're talking about science and being inspired by middle school scientists. That's up next on Dr. Kiki Science Hour.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT. Bandwidth for Dr. Kiki's Science Hour is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Dr. Kiki Science Hour with me, Dr. Kiki, episode 148, recorded on Thursday, June 21st, 2012, inside eCybermission 2012. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Dr. Kiki Science Hour. I'm Dr. Kiki, and this is the show where normally we dig into one topic in the sciences for an hour and really give you a sense of what's going on in one subject. Well, we're expanding out from that this week. We've got not just one guest, but close to 16 guests today, I think. It's a large group. We're going to be going through them group by group. We're getting inside a student science competition. So I hope you're ready to dig in to the science of a whole bunch of things with our special guests. These are the winning regional U.S. teams in the U.S. Army's 2012 eCybermission STEM competition. They range from 6th to 9th grade and are some of the best young minds in our country, approaching problems as varied as UV protection, topsoil sustainability, amaranth farming in Kenya, and creating better bandages. eCybermission is a U.S. Army-sponsored competition that asks students in grades 6 through 9 to use science, tech, engineering, and math methods to investigate the world around them and to solve real problems that they see in their community. This is the 10th year of the competition. Congratulations, everyone, on making it to a decade. I hope it keeps going much longer, but this is fantastic. And 3,950 teams made up of 15,406 students entered the competition, but only one team can win. And even though we all know that every student embarking on this adventure came out a winner, the prize money doesn't hurt either. The winning team is going to receive a total of $8,000 in U.S. savings bonds. To enter, the students had to first choose a mission challenge. And so the mission challenges ranged from topics on alternative sources of energy, ecosystems, environment, food, health and fitness, nanotechnology, national security and safety, robots and robotics, speed, velocity, acceleration, vectors, and scalars. And there's a lot to choose from within those topics. From there, they had to choose, like I said, a specific community problem to address, a real-world problem. Apply STEM, science, math, technology, or I'm totally messing up the acronym there, but science, technology, engineering, math, methods to come up with a solution, and then submit a mission folder about their project. And then they answered questions about the mission challenge, the specific problem, what they learned from it all, and then judges decided who had the best mission folders. They were evaluated against the criteria of how they applied the scientific method or inquiry or engineering design process, how much benefit their problem solving and their project is to the community, and also how good was their team collaboration. This teaches working together so that, no man is an island, and especially in science, that is true. So I teased some of the topics that these student scientists studied at the top of the hour, but I really want to let them tell you their stories. So let's get started. My first guests are a 6th grade team from George J. Mitchell Elementary School in Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. They're called the Sun Sensors. Their project assessed how well sunglasses actually protect our eyes from damaging UV rays, and they brought me a pair of cool sunglasses so that my eyes will be protected. Hi, you guys. Hi. All right, so tell me your names. Tell me who you are so I know who I'm speaking with here.
I'm Jaden Kraft.
I'm Brianna Hogler.
I'm Jessie Rising.
I'm Dylan Reese.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And how did you all come together to start this project, to do this project?
So we've been in each other's class for about 3 years now, and last year, Mrs. Naples, who is our team advisor, asked our teacher to pick 4 students who she thought would be good for the project. We came together for our first meeting, and Mrs. Naples asked us to think about a problem in our community that we could try to solve. We started spitting out random things that we thought were a problem in our community, and one of the things I suggested was how UV light can damage your eyes. Because my mom, when she is exposed to UV light, she gets very bad migraines if she's not wearing sunglasses. So we started thinking about it, we did some research, and then we wanted to see if maybe it was the eyes and the skin. And after further research, we just decided to stick with the eyes, and we just continued on with that.
And in looking at the eyes, you realize that there's a lot of damage that can be done. It's not just something like migraines. I went to the Virgin Islands recently. I felt like I got a sunburn in my eyes. Can you get a sunburn on your eyes?
I don't think they can get sunburn, but you can get a number of diseases like macular degeneration, cataracts, and cancer.
And cataracts are something that's really pretty easy. It's something that's fairly common, a surgery that people can treat their cataracts with, but macular degeneration, at this point, we've really not got a lot to treat that. So prevention, right?
Yeah.
Wearing those sunglasses. All right, so how do you know if the sunglasses are actually doing the job that they say they're going to do? Are they actually protecting your eyes? How did you guys go about studying this?
We did a lot of research on how the eye works, really, and there's cone shapes inside your eyes that take in this light, but UV light will damage those, and you need those to see the visible light. So we had 3 experiments. For experiment 1, very simple, we had a light bulb in a box that was shining through this hole about yay big, with a lens over it, and we used diffraction grating glasses to view it, and we saw the difference between regular light like this and that like going through the lens. And we need to check for blue light. That's really close to the UV, so that's how we saw if it was blocking the UV. We all depended on that blue light because it's really close to them. Experiment 2, we had eyes, which were styrofoam balls with like a wooden rod attached to the lid of a cardboard box. We cut out holes in the top so the light can shine through the holes. We put lenses over most of the holes, and we looked to see if the UV beads changed color, because in UV light they will change color. And most of them didn't, except Control 1 and Control 2. Control 1 had no light getting to it. Control 2 had everything going for it. And for experiment 3, we went to our local high school's physics lab, and with the help of one of the teachers there, Dr. Oletto, we used UVA and UVB sensors with a software called Logger Pro software to collect quantitative data, meaning like numbers, to prove it instead of doing it visually.
Yeah.
So I had giant UV swords, not that big, and we had this protector over it that he had, and once you took that off, the UV on the scale would go up because the UV sensors were detecting it. Then we put a lens in front of the sensors and saw it plummet.
Nice. So basically you're showing that sunglasses are doing the job that they say they're going to. I mean, did you look at just kind of cheap off-the-shelf sunglasses versus also expensive sunglasses?
We looked at both types of sunglasses. We have gotten donations. That's where all these sunglasses have come from. We wrote to manufacturers of sunglasses like Riders, Zeal Optics, Silhouette, and they gave us donations. Yeah. And we also had some teachers give us donations of cheap sunglasses. When you compared them, they both protected your eyes from UV light. The only difference we could find were the more expensive ones did have coatings on them that had extra uses, like anti-scratch, anti-fog, and water repellent.
Okay, so cheap versus expensive. If you're just looking at the UV stuff, you're going to be protected even if you're buying a $5 or $10 pair of sunglasses.
You have to make sure it says that it protects UVA and UVB from entering your eyes.
These were actually 98 cents, and they were 8 cents a piece.
That's pretty. Did you learn much about the process of how they actually develop the lenses and what they're doing to the lenses to stop or to block these UV rays?
We didn't look on how they made it. We were just more focused on if they worked.
We do know, though, that how they block UV rays, there is a coating that goes on them. It's a clear coating. And actually, this was something we looked into because we saw the different colors of the lenses, and we're like, the darker ones might protect more. So we were looking into it, and we saw that the lenses, they're tinted just for show, are actually, of all the lenses that we tested, the one that we liked the best that blocked the most UVA, UVB, and blue light was actually a yellow tinted one. It was very, very light. It was actually the lightest one, I think, that we tested.
So these dark sunglasses, they're shading your eyes, but that's not what's actually blocking it.
For show. It just looks cool.
It just looks cool. I could be like Tom Cruise. Risky business, right? But maybe not do that dance now. But anyway, did you have something that you wanted to answer about that question, or did she cover it? You were excited. You were excited, and you're like, "Wait, I know this." All right. So, in terms of what you were doing, what was the most valuable thing that you learned from the experiment, from the process, and being a part of this competition? Brianna.
In my opinion, we learned a bunch of things from basically all about the project. So now we have that in the back of our mind for future reference and times that we may face this. And also, the thing that really shone out to me was teamwork that we really brought out. We went from not being too close because we really didn't know each other, and then we kind of came together as a team, finished this project, and it really, really showed that's why we're here now.
I mean, I kind of want to add on to what you say. I have known these people for a while. Like she mentioned, we've known each other for 3 years or more in some cases. So you really learn more about the people. Like you learn what you have in common, what you don't have in common, your interests, and it all comes together when you're doing a project like this because you're spending hours together. Hours. We would meet every week before school, and as we got closer to the end, we'd meet.
The stress pressures start to have their effects, and if you can't work well together, it's gonna show, right?
We really have, and I've learned things about these people, my teammates, that I haven't.
These people.
That I never knew about them. I've known Jaden since first grade. We've been in the same class together for 6 years, and I learned things about him I've never known before.
Awesome. That's good. So you've done this, whatever the results of the competition are you all, did this inspire you to go more into the sciences later? Are you all interested in that? Jaden?
Yeah, I would definitely be more interested in it, and actually it's because of the eCybermission. We had a STEM expo, and that was pretty fun. So we got to all these different kinds of sciences that we could do when we're older for the Army, and I like a couple of those, like blowing up stuff for tests.
Nice. I like blowing stuff up for tests too, so very fun. Are you interested in continuing on? Yeah. Nothing more? No? Okay. All right. Well, I unfortunately am limited in time, and we have 3 more teams to get to. So thank you all for telling me about your project and answering my questions. And I'm looking forward to talking with you a bit more as the next, it's not even 24 hours that's left in this whole thing. So, yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right, so as they are moving out of here, let's bring in the 7th grade team from Science Rocks U in Whiteface, Texas. They call themselves the Dust Bunnies. And these inspired students investigated methods for limiting the erosion of topsoil. And if you pay attention to agriculture, if you've grown up in a rural area, you might have some idea how important topsoil is to just getting food on our tables. So this is a pretty big, impactful area of study. It's exciting. So anyway, tell me your names.
I'm Allison. I'm Robin.
And I'm Haley.
And Haley. Okay, how did you decide to start working on this big question, big problem?
I'm a third generation con farming family.
Go.
I'm a third generation con farming family, so I live in the cotton fields down there, and we noticed how bad it was when the wind was blowing. So I decided to see if I could find a way to stop this soil from blowing as bad.
Yeah, that's important. The Dust Bowl was a really devastating era for the United States and food. I mean, are you guys worried that there might be something like that coming back? Definitely. And you think you can stop it?
You trying to.
I think that's great. They're going to change the world, these kids. I tell you, they're going to change the world. So tell me a bit about how you got into your project. How did you start?
We started our project with researching about what might work in the field to see what we might think would work well in the field to absorb water and let back out to the community to help conserve our water and still help keep soil down.
Okay, so you were looking at it mostly as like a water conservation issue at first, and did that?
And soil erosion, so we can hold the soil down and conserve the water and let it out. So we were looking at pretty much both of them.
Okay. Did you have anything that you wanted? No. All right. So that's what you were looking at, and how did you go about your methods?
Well, we started out.
Go ahead.
A couple of years ago in science class, we had used super absorbent polymers for an experiment, and we noticed that it might bind well with the soil and to keep it intact. And so first we just started off with that, and one of our hypotheses were that the polymers would work the best out of what we've tried.
So you're basically saying, let's add something to the soil that'll hold it down, keep water in it, make it heavier maybe, make it less likely to blow away. And did it work?
Yes, it did.
How well?
Better than it being regular.
Yeah.
When we put the polymers in, it stayed very long. It did not hardly blow at all.
And so adding something like that's a polymer. So it's a tell everybody. I know what a polymer is, but can you explain what a polymer is to the audience? Can one of you?
It's pretty much it's a crystal that absorbs a lot of water up to 10 times its weight at least. So it's pretty much our definition for it.
All right. And by adding it to the soil, does it change the soil at all? Does it affect how plants grow in the soil?
No.
Not at all.
It stays underneath the EPA standard, right after the EPA standard. It should be fine, not harmful.
The EPA standard is 1 pound per acre.
And that's enough to actually have an effect on the topsoil. So what would happen if you really did change, if you got farmers to implement this, to put the polymer into their soil, into their fields? How would it change what's happening currently?
Topsoil blown away, so we wouldn't have that soil like everywhere, like I can't even manage the hospital system. Pretty close. We might be able to. And then we'll make our crops healthier because topsoil is important for their crops to be.
It can also keep people from getting sick because it's really bad on allergies because topsoil blowing in the air, allergies, and real bad on asthma. So that might be a problem.
So lots of effects. Conserving water can have impacts on human health. It can have impacts on just quality of life and the environment that you live in, and also agriculture. Because if the topsoil blows away, what happens? Yeah, plants aren't going to grow. They need the topsoil, right?
And actually, because how bad the topsoil was in the air, maybe a year ago, my granddad, he walked outside. It was right after he had had a heart transplant. He walked outside, and he started wheezing because he has asthma. And that wasn't good for the heart. So it kind of proves how it has the topsoil blowing in the air has an effect on people.
Yeah. If you see that happening on a big scale, where you have dust storms and lots of people having negative effects as a result. Just generally, generally, I think you ladies picked a pretty important problem to solve. As a result of your studies, did you learn any techniques or anything that you didn't know previously? Minimal tillage.
All of them had in minimal tillage fields, and minimal tillage is something that we between constants before they're taken up. So there's still some kind of plan on it to keep soil down still.
Right.
But some farmers use it, some don't. If they want more soil.
So it's a more sustainable farming method. Yeah. All right. So, and are all of you, I mean, you're seventh grade right now. So a couple more years, you'll be high school, and, college isn't that far off. Are you already looking at careers, and
I am.
what are you looking at?
Veterinarian career, I want to be able to just take care of the animals. I've had so many pets die that I want to figure out how they died and why they died.
Nice. So, there's a lot of science in veterinary. That's what they call it, veterinary science. It's good. Do you have any goals?
Yes, actually, I would like to be a lot of things, but if I had to choose something for science, I would really like to be a science teacher.
We need lots of good science teachers. So that's a good goal. You want to be a science teacher also? Awesome. Learn science, teach science, help other generations of kids learn more science. Are you excited about tomorrow and the award ceremony?
Definitely.
Nervous?
A little bit.
You're not. Strangely, you're very calm.
Which is very weird.
Whether or not you win tomorrow, what is the one big thing that you're going to take home with you from this competition?
That we got here. Just the honor of being here, getting it this far, being able to compete with the other kids. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just amazing. Just amazing. Yeah, you all are having just a fabulous, life-changing experience here, and I think it's great. I'm applauding it all. So anyway, we're going to move along to the next group. Thank you so much for your time and joining me for this interview, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And those were the dust bunnies. The dust bunnies. And you know what? I'm not going to do an advertisement today. There's no advertisement. So next up are our 8th grade team. They are a team called Can You Grow It? And they're from Memorial Park Middle School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Their research has far-reaching applications in addressing hunger around the world. It's another agricultural project. But they studied the way that they could improve crop yields for a super grain that's called amaranth. And I'm familiar with amaranth because it's sometimes in my 15-month-old's baby food. I've been looking at these little pouches of food, and sometimes they have amaranth in it. And what's this grain? I've never heard of that before. Some people know what it is. Can you grow it? I love the name that you have for your group. Who came up with that?
Oh, okay. Well, Ben here had a shirt that said, "Can you dig it?" And he got it from the Goodwill. And it was my absolute favorite shirt. Every time I wore it, I say, "I love that shirt." So then when we came up with a project that had to do with Kenya, I was like, "Can you grow it?" I was thinking about it last night, and I just think "Can you grow it" is the best slogan. I just love it. It's the perfect thing to say. Can you grow it?
So we're working with Kenya, and we're working to grow the amaranth in the district. So
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the community, when I think community, I think very local community, but you're working on a global scale.
when we were working to find a project, we were meeting with different experts in our community, such as the mayor, at that time there was an election, so the mayor's opponent, just different people like that. And through our advisor, we met with a man who was an expert on amaranth, and then another man who was an expert on biostimulants. And we didn't know anything about amaranth, we knew nothing about biostimulants, but together they had the combined idea of working with those things to help in Africa, and specifically in Kenya. And when we were first starting out, we were thinking of ways in Fort Wayne that we could make a difference, but now we realized that we never realized it then, but we were actually going to be helping in Kenya and working with Africa, and it's just so amazing that even though we're so young, we can be making a difference like that in the world. So.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. Wow. Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, amaranth, it's going to have an impact in Kenya, in Africa, but it can also have a very global effect. Hunger is not just in one location. Hunger is a global problem, and the United States has a lot of starving children even.
And amaranth doesn't just help with problems of starvation. It can help fight against common diseases. It can help fight against skin diseases, diabetes, HIV/AIDS. I just saw something recently that said that there's being research done on it that has potential cancer-fighting aspects to it. So it's amazing. And even if you're just a regular person that's healthy, it can help you in numerous ways. It's just got so many amazing factors to it that make it so beneficial.
The thing I like is it's not just a plant that we can grow to help hunger. It's also a very nutritious plant for hunger. So it's not like we're just feeding them something. We're trying to find something to feed to people that are starving that isn't healthy. We're finding something very nutritious, something healthy, and something that can help fight against diseases and make the people healthier.
Yeah, so super green. That's what they call amaranth, right? It's like Superman of the greens. It's wheat on steroids.
It's not nearly as known as it could and should be, but it has so much protein. It has essential micronutrients and amino acids. That contains vitamins and potassium, zinc, iron, just so many different things to it. Certain grains, they have just one aspect to them that makes them nutritious, but it just has everything to it, so it's truly a super grain.
In terms of how you all work together, obviously you have a great rapport. You all seem to, you've gotten here. Everything's been successful so far. This is good. What do each of you do? Who are you and what do you do in your team? What are your roles?
I'm Michael Rolla, and I made all of our graphs that we had to make, and I helped write some of the mission folder, because we each had a section of the mission folder we wrote. Mm-hmm. And I kind of know about the math and stuff of ours.
He's more the math nerd, kind of.
The data geek.
Yes.
We like that.
Personalities, not just in what we did, because we each had a very equal part in creating the writing and creating the board that we had and the presentation and all that. We each took different positions just naturally as our personalities are. She's more of a creative thinker, so she helped with creativity. He's also really creative.
We're left-handed. That's the reason.
2 left-handers on this group. Nice.
The person that kind of takes charge. So though there wasn't really a leader, I kind of took the place of being someone that made sure everything was going on correctly and being sort of in charge of that in that kind of way. So we just who we are is it's made it so we all can work very, very well together, and that we get along well, and we all have a love for science, and has made it so that we can affect the world and do what we have done.
And do fun science. It's great. So creative left-hander, what did you work on?
In the mission folder, I wrote, what did I write? I wrote what we were doing to benefit the community. Like, I wrote about how we were, working with people in Kenya and working with people in Zimbabwe and working with people in Fort Wayne, Indiana as well. So, yeah.
Well, I made the PowerPoint for our presentation, and I also wrote some of the mission folder, like the testing and the data collection. But mainly, I used my creativity to kind of add to the PowerPoint and sum up our whole project in just a few slides.
Yeah, that's a skill. There are people who make it all the way through their career and have no idea how to do that well. So it's good that you're learning that young. What was the biggest challenge of the project?
Well, probably the biggest challenge was the fact that we had to do our project, or our testing twice.
Experimentation.
We had 2 trials.
Yeah, we started it off, and then turned out that wasn't going as well as we wanted it to, so we had to restart it. And
in the first testing, we had incorrect soil, and we weren't. It was just things weren't going the way they should have been. We planted.
Yeah, the containers we had, they were probably this long of boxes, this tall, and we were like, that's not going to work. So now we have a probably taller planters that's this big, so that the roots can kind of outgrow.
So you learned a bit about the plants themselves, the ecology of the plants. They need more soil to actually do well.
Right. And every good experiment you have to mess up and make a fail to learn from it.
Oh, yes.
And we learned a lot from our first thing, and the second time it went a lot better, and
that's what got us here. So.
I think my favorite part of all of the testing and the experimentation was our actual tests themselves. We did some really scientific tests. We did a soil microbial count, sugar content test, and then simple things like a height, weight measurements. But with the soil microbial count and the sugar content test, we actually got to work at an IPF. We grew the amaranth in an IPFW greenhouse, which is a local college, and we got to do the sugar content test and the soil microbial count at the university, but for the soil microbial count, we got to do it in a lab, and so that was really fun.
With an actual professor in biology at the school.
So she was our instructor in that. It was awesome.
That's that kind of hands-on experience always makes you learn so much more and enjoy it so much more. So with what you've done, talk a little bit about the biostimulant. I mean, biostimulant sounds to me like coffee.
Biostimulants are organic suspensions which are applied to plants and soil to increase the beneficial bacteria within it.
Right.
So basically what biostimulants do is when they are applied to a plant soil, it adds beneficial bacteria to the plant, which feeds the roots and gives nutrition to the plant, which goes to the plant and then goes to the soil. So it's a big big cycle.
Yeah. And there were 2 different biostimulants that we chose because they're different kinds, but we used Vermactin and Maxgrow, and they work together to do certain processes, and there's a lot of science that goes into it, but we knew the basic things about it. One of our mentors is a soil agronomist, and he actually introduced us to the biostimulants, taught us everything there was to know about them, and it was just great learning about them because only 5% of American farmers use biostimulants, but they're becoming known, and I think the reason for that is that farmers can be stubborn. If they've been doing something for years and their great-grandfather did it, then they're not going to be interested in a new idea. But that's what our hopes is to show them, and if they can see that the biostimulants make a difference, and that's why we met with Africans who because if we just told the Africans about the biostimulants,
you had to show them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we met with the Vice Chancellor of African University, a man from Kenya, and we got experiments done in those places so that the farmers, the African farmers, can actually see the effects of biostimulants.
Yeah, okay, so tell me about some of the results, the data. Tell me what kind of a difference. So no biostimulant versus biostimulant, how much difference in growth are we talking?
Well, we conducted a test where we measured the amount of the amount of bacteria in the soil. And when we finished doing that experiment, we discovered that the amaranth the soil around the amaranth that was grown with biostimulants, cow manure, and cow manure.
Which is a great fertilizer.
we realized we hypothesized that those would grow the best because the cow manure and the biostimulants, we figured that they would kind of help each other
work together.
And so we figured out that the soil around those amaranth plants had the most bacterial activity, and we knew that the more bacterial activity in the soil meant the better quality of soil.
Right. The 4 main tests that we did was amaranth treated without just water. Then amaranth treated with both biostimulants, just the biostimulants. Then amaranth treated with just cow manure, which is how it is currently grown in Kenya. And then amaranth treated with both biostimulants and cow manure. So what we really wanted to test was without biostimulants to biostimulants, because that really showed the effect. And we obviously wouldn't want to just tell the farmers in Kenya and Africa not to use cow manure, because that wouldn't work. But together, the biostimulants and the cow manure can improve the growth, which can improve the yield and the nutrition, which with our long-term goal is helping end world hunger with that. So.
Yeah, and if there's also a farmer trying to think about cost efficiency, you want to have a better crop yield, because that's going to get you more money. So hopefully the cost works out. Yeah, hopefully the cost of adding the biostimulants doesn't outweigh, or that the crop yield outweighs that cost.
Right, and biostimulants really aren't that expensive. They're in the long run, they're less expensive than fertilizers, and they don't have chemicals. They're organic. They use bacteria instead of just making the plant look healthier. It actually improves the soil and has long-term effects on the soil, and it makes the plant more nutritious, which is really what is important for the Africans.
Yeah, and it also sounds like it could have some sustainable aspects to it, helping the soil actually be maintained longer in a really good way, so that you can maybe continue growing plants on a certain patch of soil longer.
That's probably one of the bigger differences between normal fertilizers and biostimulants, because fertilizers, you have to keep on applying them to the soil, and biostimulants, once you apply the biostimulants to the soil, you have to apply them every 2 weeks, but it overall changes the soil and makes it more healthier. So it can make the plant healthier, which makes the soil healthier. So it's a cycle.
Which eating makes the people healthier. It's a big cycle. All right, so you're definitely taking this project big places, working on it. I mean, how long are you going to continue with this? How big have your goals become for this project? Are you going to hand it off to somebody in a little while, or are you guys going to keep working on this? It's yours. It's ours.
Right.
It's good.
Even after the competition, because this isn't about winning. It's amazing that we've gotten here, and it's really an honor, but our project is something that we really want to do, and despite the competition, we are going to continue working to get amaranth promoted as much as we possibly can, and to get biostimulants used. So that's, even if we come out I think we are winners just by being here.
You absolutely are, absolutely. And you've learned a lot. You've had some challenges. You've made it through. But what's the biggest lesson that you're going to be leaving the competition with?
Biggest lesson for me is just teamwork, probably. Just learning to work in a team. I mean,
Was it hard?
yeah, somewhat. Well,
Did you have any team clashes?
All the time.
not really. Working over a year-long period, I mean, of course you're going to eventually come up with a few struggles.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fact that we were able to work together for a whole year and not kill each other was pretty impressive.
You still eat lunch together. No.
People have become more like family than friends because we've spent 12-hour days together working. We've spent hours on the phone. We've spent after school, before school, at all sorts of different things. So it's just been a lot. And back to your question, I think my best thing that I've come out of this with learning is that even though I'm young and even though all of us are only 14, we can make a difference and we can do things. I never really knew. I figured that some kids could do that, but I never thought I could do that.
I still don't know that I can do that.
You are. Oh, you are.
We are doing things. And it's like
There's
it's
a journey.
amazing, you know. Like
Yeah.
I guess like I've learned how to be diligent with like what I do. Like that's my favorite word. So. It's
12-hour days, over a year of working on this project, taking it to the places that you have. All of you have been very diligent, and it's very inspiring. And I thank you very much for talking with me. This is
just us taking our first steps on a long journey. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
How old are you again? 14? You're like 90. You've got wisdom. This is all of you students. Wisdom. Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow. And you know it. You all are winners. We have one more group. Thank you. One more group. You are welcome. I'm so excited to be speaking with everybody here, but my final guests today are from Science Rocks U in Whiteface, Texas. They are a 9th grade team who go by the name Wound Warriors, and they are on a mission to help, once again, helping the global community. They want to help people wounded in conflicts around the world or with chronic wounds from debilitating diseases. They developed a bandage that's doped with honey and provides more than average protection from infection. This is just another wonderful study, and I'm just inspired by all of these projects everyone has come up with. So tell me about yourselves. Who are you all? And Maddie?
I'm Marcus.
And how did you come up with your project idea? Where did it come from?
Family members and close friends that have diabetes who don't. The
Heal
roots
well.
can't heal us well as regular people, and so we're thinking, what if we came up with an antibiotic? Well, we found one that could help heal better. And we started reading in Discovery magazines, and we discovered that honey is nature's antibiotic.
Yeah, it's amazing. We talked about bacteria in the soil and how important bacteria are, but every once in a while there are species of bacteria not so good, and we need to use antibiotics to fight them. Our current antibiotics are becoming less and less effective. But honey, this hundreds of years, thousands of years, it's been used by humans, right? Just a really long time. What were you going to say? You look like you have a thought.
Sorry, I was still trying to wake up. Long day.
It's like 8 o'clock at night.
It's been a really rough, tiring week. We've had so much going on.
Oh, you absolutely have. And this is the end of the week, and I'm asking you to talk once more about this work that you've been talking about probably all week long, and that you've been speaking at it or presenting to be able to get here. So honey, you decided that honey was an interesting thing to look at, but where did the idea to start putting it together with a specific type of bandages come from? Well.
Honey has hydrogen peroxide within it, so it practically drowns bacteria by suffocating it through air, which is an interesting way to suffocate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we read about hydrogels, and they're like 90% water, so very easy. And if you dry them out and you stick them into the honey, they absorb up the honey, and they are also polymer networks.
So like the group earlier was talking about the polymer that is just super absorbent, is really able to take up water. In this case, it wasn't water, it's honey that it's just absorbing. And is this something that people have been doing a lot? Is this something that
people every now and then have figured out honey's healing properties, but they haven't really presented it to the world?
Like we have today.
just today, presenting it to the world. Yeah, so what are you doing? How did you figure out how well these bandages worked? What was your process?
Well, we tested on planaria flatworms.
By cutting the invertebrates in half with a scalpel and putting them in petri dishes and applying different antibiotics with them. We watched regeneration, watched them regrow, and determined that honey was as effective.
As antibiotics?
Yep.
So as effective as many of the antibiotics that people are taking?
Some honey was better than some of the antibiotics that was already there. That was
prescription antibiotics.
Yes, that.
One way that we tested it, we got common school bacteria and put them in petri dishes.
Wait, did you say common school bacteria?
Yes.
So like stuff that you...
stuff you found on the floor, stuff like that.
You just sampled around.
Swabbed it in.
Did it scare you how bacteria filled your school is?
It was very scary.
All right, that was a little tangent, but so school bacteria you tested.
After we swabbed that in the petri dishes, we put these certain substances in there, which we used 3 high-end medical drugs, honey, and a couple of other variety substances that we used. And honey was proven to be one of the top 3, which was zero bacteria.
Zero bacteria colonized. That's impressive. So, if you were to choose between normal Band-Aid versus like a honey Band-Aid for something, do you have a stockpile of honey Band-Aids at home?
One of our next steps is to add water into the honey so it can penetrate it and it can kill more bacteria. And we're trying to find the exact amount that'll kill the most bacteria. Because if you add too much water to the honey, it'll stop working.
Right. So you're not done yet?
No, we're not. We saw quite a few.
So this is something, the competition is coming to an end, but you're still working on this project. And
it's not about competition. This could save people's lives.
We want to help save lives.
Slap a Band-Aid.
Slap a Band-Aid. Here, save your life. There we go.
We have a song.
You have a song?
Hey, all you people.
Hey, all you people.
Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me?
We just made a bandage.
No ordinary bandage.
A hydrogel bandage.
Filled with honey.
I love it. That was fantastic. It's going to be a top 10 hit, maybe? No.
It's going to be right there with Call Me Baby. It's baby in my book, okay?
We can argue song lyrics. Yeah, so how did you all come together? Was this, you were working together, same school?
eCybermission. Us too, and
You've competed before? Okay.
This is my first time to nationals.
And he really wanted to. He's really interested in science.
Mm-hmm.
You've competed before with different projects, though. This is something new.
Yes.
Your third time. You're a pro by now.
This is my second.
Excellent.
We have 1, 2, 3 going on here.
1, 2, 3. Excellent. And so for your first year, what was it like, and how what do you think you've learned and that you're going to take out of this?
Well, it was very fun and exciting. Got to interact with a lot of different people. One thing that I personally favored was talking to soldiers and hearing their stories about what goes on in war that they've been sent out to, and the stuff that our inventions can do to save a lot, that could have saved a lot of their friends out there in the battle.
Right, by stopping infection in the field, because if you can, it's dirty out there, right? It's dirty.
Shot by the bacteria bullet.
Right.
Next
It's
word.
deep.
Okay, so for each of you, since you're a returning competitor, is there anything new that this year brought?
The STEM convention. Well, is it called a convention?
Tell me about it.
Well, there was new things like the robots, that was new. I've never operated a robot before. It was pretty cool.
Did you like that?
Yes, it was fun.
I love robots.
And then
So,
busting the roses, because you put them in, like, nitrogen or something.
Liquid nitrogen, which is super cold. I've played with nitrogen before.
But fun.
Yeah, but fun. It's my new word.
The station manager or something, he busted a banana. It was awesome. And then we ate.
Did you eat ice cream? Did you make nitrogen ice cream?
We ate frozen marshmallows. It was cool. But like they weren't like
really cold.
But like they weren't frozen. If that makes any sense.
We got marshmallows and stuck them in there, and then we quickly put them in our mouth, and we could breathe smoke.
It's cool.
It's pretty fun.
I love science. This is so great. Did you have anything new that you learned or that you're taking home?
DNA.
Strawberry DNA.
Not just DNA like this. Like strawberry DNA was really cool.
That's very cool. So you were, did you learn about how to extract DNA from cells? And
I didn't know you could see DNA.
Yeah. When I learned how easy it is to extract DNA from just about anything, it just was this mind-altering moment. It was, wow, I can come that close. Exactly. The stuff that makes all of us who we are. All right, so you're going to continue with this project. You're all very dedicated to the sciences now. Is this a direction that you're going to go in the future? Are you scientists now and in the future?
I have been thinking about doing some stuff in robotics. I personally like making stuff and seeing it actually be put to use.
I want to be a veterinarian.
And that's in the sciences. It is. You're not in the sciences. Okay.
I'm just not in the sciences.
I want to be a missionary.
Yeah.
Just travel the world.
She wants to be a giraffetologist.
I think that science is a state of mind. It's a way of looking at the world. And once you learn science and do science, you're a scientist. You're going to be a scientist for the rest of your life, even though you're doing something else. You don't necessarily have to be doing it as a career.
Imagination.
That's what I think. Okay, well, good luck, you guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for doing this with us.
You're welcome. Are you nervous about tomorrow?
No, not
No.
I'm ready to eat that food.
Yeah.
You're ready to eat that food. We have a luncheon awards ceremony tomorrow. I have the awards program right here, and I'm going to be emceeing it. I'm very excited. So I get to introduce all the different groups and help share in the awards ceremony. I'm really excited to be here doing this and to be a part of this inspiring event. And I really hope that this hour has inspired some of you out there, can help inspire other kids out there, because like one of the groups earlier said, they might be young, but they can change the world. They can really make a difference and are making a difference. Making a difference. Doesn't matter how young you are. So can all of you crowd in here? Just come on back and just crowd in, kind of squeeze in, scoot over so that we can get everyone in here and kind of just get a last shot. And we're knocking over things, knocking over the backdrop. Yeah, and this is just a representation of 4 of the groups that are regional winners in the eCybermission 2012 competition. And, if seriously, everyone out there, chat room, can we get a big round of applause for these kids? Yay! Give yourselves a round of applause. Yay! Self pat on the back. Round of applause for yourselves. Exactly. Okay, that does it for our show. You guys, thank you so much once again. You are welcome. If anyone is interested in learning more about the eCybermission competition, go to eCybermission.com. And that does it for my show today. I hope that you all are finding yourselves as inspired as I am by the efforts of these students. And it goes to show, never too early for science, right? I'm Dr. Kiki, and this has been Dr. Kiki's Science Hour. Until next week, you can follow my science-y pursuits all around the interwebs. I'm on Twitter as Dr. Kiki. I'm on Facebook as Dr. Kiki, Google Plus as Kiki Sanford. You can download past episodes of this program by going to twit.tv/Kiki. You can also find us on YouTube and all sorts of other places. We're all over the place. And if you need more science goodness, you can also listen to This Week in Science. This Week in Science is the other program that I do found at twist.org. That's right. I will see you next week. We're going to be talking about the new scientific publishing realm. I've got, there's a new company on the block in the scientific publishing environment, and there's some interesting stuff happening. So we're going to be talking about that next week, and I hope that you will join me. Thank you very much for tuning into my Science Hour. All I ask is really one, but maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. And remember, I do hope that this hour made your world a whole lot more interesting. Now it's time for your science meditation of the week.
And the winner of the $75,000 2012 Gordon E. Moore Award in the category of Medicine and Health Sciences from Crown Jack present to you the top award winners of the 2012 Intel International Science